Welcome back to the City Talk. Oh, man. Good to have you back with us. I am your host, Tony J.
Yep.
And these are my co-hosts.
Everybody.
China, my uncle, your uncle, everybody, Uncle L. And also today we have a special guest for you guys. We have the Wildwood Pop Warner football team.
And the cheerleaders!
And so today we're going to be talking about cultivating successful habits and making them work for you so you can be successful. So what I want to do is, I want to celebrate the Mighty Mites, the Wildwood Mighty Mites, champions of the all-time, of the great city of Wildwood. Y'all help me give it up for the Mighty Mites, the champions. Come on, guys. But also, too, you know, they wouldn't have had the successful season that they had without their coaches. So give it up for the coaches. All right. So, you know, we want to start this conversation. You guys can sit down. You guys can sit down. There you go. Look at them. They so nice. So we want to start this. We want to start this conversation off by asking the coach a few questions. What they had to do to get the kids prepared. You know, because everybody needs a coach. Nobody can go through life on their own, and somebody needs somebody along the way to help them, guide them, to maneuver them. And it took some people. It took that one person in somebody's life to transition them from one state to another. So that's why coaching is so important. So if you don't have a coach, if you don't have somebody to keep you accountable, you need to get somebody today. All right. So to the football, to the Mighty Mites coach, tell us something. One thing that you had to do to get the kids prepared for the season.
One is start off at home.
Okay.
Start off at home. Discipline. You know what I'm saying? School. You know, not letting making mistakes that I made. We all have passes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty much giving back. We don't want them to fall back and do the things that we did. We all did. Like you said, we all got passes. Grades, everything. It's hard work, but discipline is most of all.
Discipline is most of all. Absolutely. So what else?
What are some of the things that you guys instill in the young men? Because, you know, growing up now, we live in a world that, you know, they see something on TV, the rap videos, and that's what they want to be. So how do you kind of mold their minds to stay focused and to focus on like the goal?
Well, me personally, I was brought up. The first thing you know what I'm saying is respect. If you can instill respect in anybody, whether you 2 years old, 3 years old, or whatever, then that's pretty much the feat that you gotta put them through. You know what I'm saying? If you can do that, you can do pretty much anything. And from the get-go, when we first started with those guys there, and like I said, my son played, his son played, like I said, it started at home. Once we put respect and instilled that in all the rest of them, then everything else pretty much was easy. Everything else pretty much was easy.
Okay, my question goes to the cheerleaders here, because you got the coaches that they instill into the young men the respect and what starts at home. But then, like Tony J says, you got to have a rah-rah behind you. I know there's the rah-rah, so as the cheerleaders, can you tell me how do you get them to be that rah-rah behind the young men?
Cheerleading coach.
It's okay. Look, Miss Karen, all things life, baby. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Promise you.
It's still the same thing as the football coaches have said. We teach them a lot of respect. It's very hard dealing with different personalities we have. So with us as cheerleaders, to get them to help support the football team, we instill in them respect and also a lot of life skills. Everything that, I feel like everything that we do is a life skill. Whether it be if I ask you to do something and you don't do it, then the police stop you and tell you you're speeding. So now you got a ticket because you didn't obey the law of the land. So as adults and children, you have to obey, your elders. So I instill that in them every day. Whenever we have practice, I let them know everything that we do is a life skill.
Awesome.
Great, that's amazing. Some of the coaches, tell me some of the things that you guys had to overcome in your life. Because, we have a large audience and, we have people who are watching who's been through so many things and we have people who struggle with a lot of things. So if you don't mind sharing just one thing that you had to overcome, some things you did that you wasn't proud of, but you overcame it, and just help somebody today if you don't mind.
Be easy. Be easy. Don't tell all your business, okay? Tell it all.
Nah, it's I did a lot of things in the streets that I wasn't proud of, and like I didn't have a father figure. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of other people who just, so and the environment I grew up in, you know what I'm saying? I tried. I seen a lot of stuff, man. I seen a lot of stuff, and a lot of these young men here, a lot of them don't have father figures as well, so I know how they feel. So then that's the thing about it, we have to be a father figure for them as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I seen a lot, and I've done a lot, and trust me, and I don't want my son or nephews or cousins, and like I say, the rest of my boys to go through what I've been through.
What about you?
Well, me, mine just the opposite of him. I know my mother, I love my mother, but she was never really in my life. I started feeling my father when I was 5. So basically for a mother to pick the streets and otherwise with your child, your youngest child, that, it really instilled a lot of me, because my father told me no matter what she do, you still love your mother. So I done actually been through a lot dealing with that part right there, because like I said, there's things that I can see that a joker don't even know because I don't ever bring it out, but I'll bring something out now. Imagine being in the 6th grade on the weekend and you look out the door maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You look out the window and you see your mother walking down the street naked. See, my mother, she suffered from mental, what they call it, the split personality thing. Yeah, schizophrenia. That's what it is, schizophrenia. She suffered from that right there. She wasn't always like that. You know what I'm saying? But she did suffer from that around when she was in her early 20s. And like I say, and I don't have to deal with that right there. As a partner, you hear people talking in the streets and this and that. That's like one of the hardest things in my life. But I never treated her no differently. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I never treated her no differently. So that's like more of a big motivation that allows me, you know what I'm saying? Because the way my father raised me was, no matter what, or how anybody, I see my father feed the homeless. He used to let them stay at the house when they had them. So a lot of that instilled me. That's why I'm like I am. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm too nice, but at the same time, that's just instilled in me. So I got to be a certain way. I like helping people. And therefore, that's why I started coaching too, because like same thing, the kids in Wildwood, it could be a gold mine or it could be a trap. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
I feel like if I can help my city, you know what I'm saying, prosper in any kind of way, that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
Mr. Hope, you mighty quiet back there. You mighty quiet back there.
Bill Hall, Commissioner Wildwood Baltimore, and elders and president, and all the nice coaches up here. I just want to give a shout out to them, like doing what they're doing, teaching the kids, training the kids, molding the kids. Like what Coach Brand and Coach Henry say, it starts at home. You gotta have discipline. If you don't have discipline, you get far in life. And like I try to install in all the kids, it's discipline in school, then football. If you ain't got the grades, you can be the best athlete on the field. But if you ain't got the grades, you can't be nothing. And like that's why we trying to get this program, trying to get more community involved in the program. Because we need help. We can't do it all by ourselves. We need the community to come together and like help us, mold us, and guide us through this. Because it can't take one man to build an empire.
Absolutely. It takes a village. Take a village. Take a village. Yeah. Absolutely.
And you know what I'm saying? I want to thank y'all for what y'all doing for us about the Pop Warner. I invite us to y'all churches. I enjoyed y'all service and everything. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? I just appreciate that. I like what y'all doing.
Awesome. Well, Mr. President, what would you like to say? Mr. President, get a close up on Mr. President here. Give it up, Mr. President.
First thing I want to thank the Lord. So without him, oh my God. But like they were saying, first of all, I always put God first, and they know me, because without him, none of this could be possible. Okay, but I just thank all of these guys for their hard work, and it took a lot, and I always tell them starting off, it started with the board members, it started off with the coaches, it started off with the parents, it started with the kids. It takes 4 parts to make this thing run for Power Warner, then the community comes in too. But what I'm saying to them is, we all have to be, like I said, disciplined. Your kids respect their parents, respect the law, and respect these cool school teachers. And I always tell them, they're getting paid. They got their education. You better get yours. That's right. Sit down in the classroom and listen. Quit being grown and get your education.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Because like Bill said, we tell them all. I tell Tyrese them all of them. It don't care how good you are. We're some of the best football players because their attitude costs millions and millions of dollars a contract. I can call their names out, but we don't need to go there. We talk to them about it. Don't forget about your education. You gotta learn how to count.
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to read. You need this stuff. It's very important. That's why we go to school. Okay? And then like I tell parents, it's also good for us to sit down and not rush all the time. Take time to sit down to the table and talk to our kids.
Wow.
Instead of rushing, throw them a plate, go to bed, watch the bed. You need to sit down and have time, spend time with your kids.
Yes.
And my boy tell me, Daddy, if you stop yelling and talk to me, I will understand that. So I had to stop yelling and sit down and talk to them. Yes, they will teach you to listen. They will teach you. So we have a better understanding, better communication now when I can sit down to the table and talk to them. Instead of we rushing and pushing them all the time. We're all busy, but you got to take time. If you don't, somebody else will. The devils is around the corners lurking.
Those streets are good at teaching.
And that's why I pray all the time for the Lord to keep these kids, because there's so much is going on. So much is going on in the world today. And that's why I tell my kids sometimes, my dad gave me a 3 rule. I don't know if any parents ever did this. First of all, my dad took me through the jail system because he worked in the prison. He said, son, it's 2 things. You'll be in death or you'll be in the chain gang 18 if you don't change your ways. So he took me through the system. And I said, I never ever want to go back through that system again. After you all them doors go ching, 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 and you can't get back out, it'll change you. And I thank the Lord that I never had to go back to jail. And I'm going to tell you something, kids. I went to Judge Skidmore down the court one time. Everybody know about Skidmore, don't they?
It's teacher time,
I just want to, it's a testimony. It's a testimony. Everybody got to pay. Everybody got to pay. But what I'm saying is, when the first 2 guys didn't show up, he stopped me, he nailed the thing and said, nah, look here. This guy didn't show up the first one, y'all supposed to have me. I'm mad. He said, second guy didn't show up, I put an order for y'all to get him here, he ain't here. He said, right now, if you got a bad record, you're going to have a bad day. He said, next, Mr. Killer, you up. When he called me up, I was smiling. And when he pulled me up, he looked at mine, he looked at it, turned around, he looked at it, he looked at me, turned around, looked at it, gave it to the brother and said, look at this. He had nothing on my record. He was shocked to see a black man in front of him with no record. Nothing on my record. He said, son, I'm going to keep my word because I said an oath that you have a good record, I'm going to let you go. I only paid a court fee of $125 and I left up out of there. When I got to the door, he said, "Hey, Mr. Killer, where you going?" I turned around and said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Let me tell you something, son. I come back in. I went there because I was had my DOT license, I had my physical, and they don't play that. So that's what happened. But when I got to the door, he stopped me. He said, "Don't come back in my courtroom for breaking windshields." And I just took right on out there and got paid $125, and I didn't look back. Ain't going back in the name of Jesus. Yes, ma'am.
We hear how much you guys pour into the kids and you know how positive you are in their lives. What about the factor of the kids pouring into you? What do you learn from the kids? What do they teach y'all?
It teaches.
Well,
You gotta have patience because many of these guys, we have jobs. I start early, Bill started early, I started 2 or 3 o'clock, Bill started 2 or 3. A lot of these guys got jobs. It's a sacrifice. But my more important thing is that I see these kids when they smile, when they're happy, when they're on the football field, it makes my heart melt to see them. That's why I do it, to sacrifice for the kids out there. And you got these cheerleaders, they love me because I do cheers with them. And when they see me coming, it's always respect. Huh?
You're going too far.
But it's a joy to sacrifice for the kids. I mean, we all really sacrifice hard because we look at each other and we shake our head. Because I know it's God pulling me through it because I shake my head sometimes like, Lord, this is a lot. But these guys really sacrifice for all of us. And the kids are really our heart, that's why we do it. To keep the kids off the streets. I'm going to say one more thing, dude. What parents need to do to their kids is put something out there for them. My dad did 3 things when I was coming up. He said, "Son, don't ever pick up the phone and do 3 things right here." He said, "Don't ever pick up the phone, the cop catch you for drugs, stealing, and rape." He said, "If you ever do those 3 things, don't even pick up the phone and call me or you stay in prison." He said, "We might compromise, but be careful what you do, be a leader, not a follower."
Absolutely. Now, kids, I want y'all to do me a favor. I want y'all to give a big thank you to your coaches. Because without them, there wouldn't be no championships. There wouldn't be the games on Saturdays. So I want y'all to give them a turn around, give them a big, big thank you. Cheerleaders, I want y'all to give y'all coaches a big, big thank you. Because it's because of them that you're able to do what you're doing. All right, ready? We're going to do it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Before we get out of here, let me ask you guys this, and then we can take us out. Anybody can answer. What are some drawbacks that you guys had to deal with, just even starting the program, and even just in personal life? And then, what advice would you give younger kids or whoever, a parent that may be watching, maybe considering coming to bringing their children to you? What advice would you give them?
Well, starting off, I actually the drawback is within ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because when you first start something, before you can actually get it right, get all the wrinkles out of it, you're going to go through a few things. You know what I'm saying? So right now we're in the process, we're going to crease it out. You know what I'm saying? So right now we creased pretty much. And what was the second part again?
Just give some advice to younger kids who may watch this, or the parents may watch this, and maybe consider bringing their kids. What can you offer them? Some advice?
All I can say is, it speaks for itself. I mean, you see what happened in 4 years. We just started. Everybody done had part 1 or forever. We just started. It's our 4th year. We bought a championship in 4 years. So I don't think it's good to keep going.
Can I say something in that?
Yes, go ahead.
When I took over the league, we took over the league, I put God first. I built a foundation on the Lord first. Without Him, nothing would be possible. Then we come in, play our role. And sponsors, we are looking for sponsors to help support it. That's how we run an organization of sponsors. Okay, and also like right now we are fundraising for our cheerleaders. I think 3 or 4 teams going to Disney. We need 700. All of us, so we're getting a couple $1,000 we got to fundraise within the next month to get our girls ready for Disney.
How can people donate to you guys or become sponsors?
No, I got it.
And also, speaking of Disney, that's what we waiting on as well. See, they're gonna invite us because I promised my guys. I thought I read it wrong, but I promised my guys that if we handle our business, we go to Disney. But I didn't have to invite us. But with a record like us, with the record we got, how many shutouts?
6 shutouts in 9 games.
Oh, wow.
You got
9 games. 9 games. What?
Y'all good.
30.
Y'all good.
Was it 30?
We're averaging 28 points a game. Defense only giving up 2.
Wow.
Y'all good.
All together, the 9 games, how many teams go with like points all together?
We got 6, 12, that's 18, plus 13, well, that's 31.
Wow.
13 and
So in other words, what I'm saying is, it ain't too many teams rocking like we rock.
Well,
There's too many teams like us.
if somebody know how to get in touch with Disney,
Let them know.
get in touch with Disney.
And also, you can follow them on Facebook to donate and to help sponsor these wonderful kids and their coaches. You can follow them at Wildwood Wildcat Pop Warner. Wildwood Wildcats Pop Warner. They're on Facebook.
And on behalf of the City Talk, I would like to say, you guys are amazing, and we truly appreciate you guys for what you're doing, and doing in these young kids' lives, because sometimes, like I said, you don't have role models. So we just want to say from the City Talk, we appreciate you guys. Continue to do what you're doing. You guys are doing an awesome job, and let me tell you, you guys are just, this has blessed me, and I'm sure when they watch it, it'll bless them as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your work is not in vain.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you for tuning in to this special edition of the City Talks. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.
We out.
We out.
Oh, look, ain't nobody looked in the mirror today, y'all.
Ain't nobody looking in the mirror.
Ain't nobody in the mirror today. Come on, we can't have a city talk without look at L, look at somebody looking in the mirror, okay? Let me tell you what you gotta do. This is how you cultivate yourself. This is how you make yourself a little bit better. You guys are good. You guys got championships. You instill discipline in these guys. But guess what? You can always be a little bit better. Always be a little bit better. This is how you do it.
Our motto.
This is the motto. We live by this. Okay? You look in the mirror and you look at yourself.
Yeah.
You say self. And guess what self say? You say self? Self say, what you want? What you want? Self, what you want? I want you to be a little bit better. That you can be better today by cultivating what's inside of you. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I can be better. Take us out, Tony J.
And there you have it, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Tony J. See you next time.